We have 6 hours retail window opportunity, and that's only for 242 days of the year. The product we have, of course, has got a 24-hour cycle. I was always looking, what can we do with this product that we can extend the retailing cycle to 24 hours? I came across this concept in the States, and they were called micro markets.
A micro market is an unattended retail market. It consists of some fridges and some shelving. You go to a micro market that is in your lunchroom at work, and you make your selection and you scan the products and pay for it yourself.
It's something where it's an enclosed environment. There's a certain amount of trust, of course, that goes into this, and that gives us the 24-hour cycle of our product. So it's basically grab and go with no attendance. It's all based on technology, and again, we have developed really good technology in our business. We've got 10 sites out there, and it's been very much a learning process.
The micro market industry is still in its early days in Australia. We are one of the first movers in this space.
That's been something that I see that's got quite a good future for it as well. And now in the States, it's a very big industry.
I specifically remember at one time we had a break-in at the factory, and very scary, always scary when we have a break-in. And I think they took lots of cigarettes. The police came and everybody came, and they said, well, it's highly likely that they'll come back. And Cole said, well, I'll be there waiting for them. I hope they do come back. And I was on the other side of the coin. I was saying, you are not going to stay there. He said, yes, I will be there. And I said, everybody knows they might come back. He said, yeah, exactly, and I'll be there waiting for him. He did stay there, but they didn't come back a second night. We have had quite a few break-ins and robberies and things like that over the years, and it's just part of life now, I guess.
The first major milestone and the biggest decision we made in the early days was when we decided to take the lease on this property here. That was a huge step, and we came from Barry Street into here. That was in 2000. The next major milestone was when we stepped out, where we were not all just in the one facility, and that's where we took a property in Culinary. We produce all of the product here, and it gets made and trucked across overnight, all picked down to the rounds and then goes onto the vans. The next major milestone was when we decided to step outside of Melbourne and go interstate.
When I started with Tasty Fresh, we only had the 2 depots in Ferntree Gully and Tullamarine. Now we've obviously got 6 nationally. Cole's also been very generous, and I've been able to take on the opportunity of helping out the opening of the Wetherill Park depot.
Next major milestone was when we acquired a facility in Wetherill Park, which is in the west of Sydney. And we, again, a similar model to what we do here, we make all of the product in Newcastle and truck it down overnight into Sydney. We then took on a similar style business in Perth.
So we had already expanded in New South Wales with Newcastle and with Wetherill Park. We'd already gone over to WA in Perth. So we thought the next best opportunity would be in Yatala in Queensland, just because it's so central to Brisbane and the Gold Coast. So we based our depot in Yatala.
We signed a contract to buy that business in Queensland. You know what happened on the weekend after that? Scott Morrison closed the borders. It was the start of the lockdown.
The expansion occurred the day before COVID was announced in Australia, and we also got locked inside of Queensland for the next 12 months or so.
The uplift in that has been quite phenomenal in the Queensland people accepting our style of offer, which is very different to what they're used to. That's the memorable milestones over the years of building the business into a national business.
The most important lessons I've learned in business from Tasty, I think, would be the old saying that nothing takes the place of persistence. I think Tasty Fresh is a business that's very much built on persistence of a dedicated team over many years. It's a business that maintains a mindset of problem solving and has always persisted in solving whatever problem comes up at each stage of its growth.